You know what sucks? My sales this past week on eBay are down 62% from this time last week. Does eBay hate me? Did I do something wrong? We're going to talk about that and also what I'm going to do to fix it. But first, let me show you some of the cool stuff that I did actually sell on eBay. So this is definitely something you want to be on the lookout for. This is a Coleman Peak1 400-499 lightweight backpack stove. Picked this up from a thrift store for $3. It's not in great condition. It's rusty. I didn't have any way to test it, so I listed it as untested as is, and it still sold for $51 in like 2 days. Picked up this vintage Arkansas Razorbacks 1989 cotton bowl sweatshirt from a little mom and pop thrift store. Paid $2 for it, and it sold for $45 on eBay after a couple of weeks. And this thing is in actually really good condition to be that old. So this was kind of a surprising sale. This is a pair of Nike React Odysseys. Paid $6.50 for them from Goodwill, and what surprised me was how much they sold for. Sold for $62.50 on eBay after like 2 weeks. So these vintage satin looking jackets always sell really well for me. And this is a Swingster too, a really good brand. They also sell really well if they've got the Carolina Gamecocks logo on them. I guess that's just kind of their style around here. But I paid $3 for this jacket, and it sold for $60 on eBay after a couple of weeks. Probably one of my favorite sales this week is this vintage Nike tracksuit or windsuit, whatever you want to call it. Paid $7.99 for it from the Salvation Army, and it sold for $98.50 in like a week. And this thing is clean. I mean, the majority of the jacket is white, and there's like no spots on it. And I've got the jacket, the pants, it's a size XL. It's just a great combination, so it sold really quick. Okay, so sales are down 62%, and my first thought is, what did I do wrong? And honestly, I can't quite figure it out. I actually listed at least 3 items every day this past week, which is kind of unusual for me. I'm a pretty sporadic lister. Also, I don't have any negative feedback. I don't have any late shipments. My last one was from March of last year, and my last return was back in January, and it was actually canceled in my favor because the buyer never shipped it back. So what did I do wrong? Honestly, I don't think I did anything wrong. I think eBay's a roller coaster. It has its ups and downs, and this was just a down week for me. The more important thing is, what can I do to make it better going forward?
Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
So yeah, the best thing I think I can do right now is just to stay calm. And then I'm going to review my store. I'm going to make sure my titles are accurate, make sure they're fully keywords. Then I'm going to take a look at my photos and make sure they're the best that I can make them. Once that's done, I'm going to send out offers to watchers, see if I can trigger the eBay algorithm a little bit and make a few sales. Then I may actually try and do a bulk edit. If you don't know what that means editing all of your listings at one time. You can actually end your listings and relist them. That may trigger something in the eBay algorithm. And then very recently, I actually just changed the handling time a little bit. You can check that video out there. It kind of worked. And then finally, as a last resort, I can send out some coupons and do some promoted listings. I don't typically do that, and I've been okay, but hey, worst case scenario, right? And that's just a few little tricks that I may try to get my sales to go back up, and you might could use if your sales are slow. Also, make sure you tune in next week to see if they actually worked. So this is a vintage G.I. Joe missile launcher thingy. I actually picked it up at a garage sale. It was in a bundle of G.I. Joe stuff that I bought. I've got maybe 50 cents into this, and it sold for $29.99. I didn't know what it was, so I just Google lensed it and it popped right up. So this is an LG Ultra Slim Portable BD-ROM/DVD writer. Picked it up from a garage sale for $2. Listed it a long time ago, and for some reason it didn't sell. Well, I did some research and come to find out the listing had just disappeared. So I relisted it on eBay and it sold in 3 days for $38. So these 511 tactical pants don't really go for a whole lot of money. There's not a whole lot of profit there, but it's a nice quick flip. The sell-through rate on them is really good. Paid $5.75 for these, and they sold for $28 in about a week. So these are strawberry shortcake berry babies. Got lemon meringue and blueberry muffin, and they're little dolls that actually drink and wet themselves. Not really sure why you'd want that, but either way, paid $3 a piece for these at the Salvation Army. My wife actually found these, and one buyer bought both of them. They're all in 56 bucks. Found this International Spy Museum t-shirt at Goodwill. It's new at Tags, and honestly, I didn't know there was an International Spy Museum. but I paid $1.50 for it, and it sold for $18 on eBay after a couple of weeks. So I think this is a pretty cool pair of shoes. It's a pair of Nike Air Zoom Pegasus, and what's cool about them is they've got the University of Kentucky logo on the side there. Also got Wildcats written down at the bottom. But I paid $9.99 for these from the Salvation Army, and they sold for $54.50 on eBay after about a week. Sold a vintage Carolina Panthers hat, and I've had this thing forever, probably like 2 years. Paid less than $1 for it, I'm sure, and it sold finally for $14 plus shipping. The reason it took so long to sell? Probably because it's fitted. It's also really small. It's a size 7, so it took a while. I'm still selling demo golf shafts that I got from a garage sale. I actually bought a bundle of them from a guy at a garage sale. Paid $4 or $5 a piece. You can see they're just a shaft, nothing on them. And I've been selling them along and along. This Aldila NV50 just sold for 40 bucks. So I picked up this Yuengling Beer Frankenstein t-shirt at Goodwill. I just thought it was really cool. Never seen one before. Paid $1.50 for it. Figured I couldn't go wrong for that. Well, I got it home and listed it, and come to find out there were several listed and not very many sold. Not a good sell-through rate. But it still sold for $17.50 after a couple of months on eBay.